In the heart of a forgotten town, where time itself seemed frozen, there stood a mansion known as Ashford Manor. Its towering, weathered walls loomed over the town's edge like a silent guardian, shielding its dark secrets from the world. The townspeople whispered of strange happenings, shadowy figures in the windows, eerie voices carried on the wind, and an unshakable sense of dread that surrounded the place. Long ago, Ashford Manor belonged to the wealthy Ashford family, but after a series of unexplained tragedies, the estate was abandoned. No one dared approach it, and those who did were never the same again. On a crisp autumn evening, Catherine Devereux, a determined investigative journalist, arrived in the town of Greybrook. She had heard the legends and was eager to uncover the truth. At the town's lone inn, she questioned the weary innkeeper, Mrs. Thompson. "You should leave that place alone," the woman warned, her voice trembling. "People go in, but some never come out, and those who do, they're not the same." Catherine dismissed the warning. She had faced ghost stories before. The next morning, she set out for the manor. The town was eerily quiet. Shops were closed, streets deserted. The air grew colder as she walked, the skeletal branches of trees reaching skyward like twisted fingers. At last, she stood before Ashford Manor. The mansion's dark windows reflected the overcast sky, empty and lifeless. The rusted front gate creaked as she pushed it open. Weeds had claimed the gravel path leading to the door. A deep breath, a hesitant step forward. Inside the manor was vast, frozen in time. Chandeliers hung in silence, dust covering every surface. But the air was heavy, suffocating. Catherine felt unseen eyes watching her. In the library, she found a collection of aged journals. They belonged to Charles Ashford, the last patriarch of the family. His writings spoke of a shadow, a presence within the manor, of rituals, of a pact with something beyond human comprehension. Page after page, the truth unraveled. The Ashford family hadn't simply disappeared, they had been consumed, claimed by something ancient and dark. A gust of wind rattled the windows, the candles flickered. Then she saw it, a hidden door, concealed behind a heavy tapestry. A staircase descended into darkness. Heart pounding, she followed the steps down, down, down into the unknown. The air grew frigid. The walls seemed to close in. At the bottom, a heavy wooden door groaned as she pushed it open. Inside, a dimly lit chamber. Flickering candlelight cast twisted shadows. In the center, a stone altar stained with dried blood. Ancient symbols marked the walls, depicting grotesque figures engaged in unnatural rites. Catherine's breath hitched as she spotted an aged book upon the altar. Its pages spoke of a ritual, one meant to summon something neither alive nor dead, something that fed on fear and despair. A sudden gust of wind, the candles snuffed out. Darkness. Then a sound, a low guttural whisper slithering through the air. "You should never have come here." The voice was not her own, it was the house itself. "Leave or join us." The shadows around her moved, twisting, stretching, watching. Something was waking. Panic surged through Catherine as she turned and ran. Footsteps pounded behind her. The presence chased her, whispering, laughing, calling her name. She reached the front door, locked. Hands shaking, she yanked at the handle. The shadows closed in. Cold fingers brushed against her skin. And then the door flew open. She tumbled outside, gasping for breath. The night air burned her lungs. The whispers faded, but she could still feel it. Watching, waiting. Mrs. Thompson was there, waiting. "You've seen it, haven't you?" she whispered. Catherine nodded. She had found the truth. But Ashford Manor had marked her. It had claimed a piece of her soul. And as the years passed, the whispers never stopped. Because the shadow was still there. Waiting, always waiting.